The 2021 NHL North Division, brought to you by Scotiabank. You're richer than you think. That is a great slogan, by the way. That's hilarious.
I love that. That should be the preview of the episode. Um,
That should
okay,
be
so
the
for
name of the episode.
I think to start it again, obvious. I'm going to use the James Myrtle article again to reference this, but no more excuses. Toronto wins this division. Second for me, and I don't know. There's going to be a toss up, so we're going to be kind of like a second place, but honorable mentions of this team goes second or third. So it's going to be between Montreal and Vancouver. I think that they have a lot of the pieces there to kind of make these runs. Montreal, again, I think they're a team where they didn't really say it out loud, but it's a kind of no excuses kind of thing either. They kind of are not stretching that talent they had
No,
anymore. Like, we're
they've
seeing
said
with,
it. They've
yeah,
said that they have to win now.
yeah, like they don't have the Arteri Lehkonen playing on like the top six anymore. I think that's just one example I think of that they've been able to add a lot of talent there and they can contend. Vancouver, a bit of step back with the depth, but I like what they've been able to kind of foster now. The fact that they're betting on Niels Hoaglander to be in that top six right now with Bo Horvat in the second line kind of shows that they still have a lot of things to figure out in terms of the youth, but it's going in the right direction. And Quinn Hughes, excellent player. Travis Halmanick, another stay-at-home defenseman kind of guy that wants to stay in the West Coast to stay with his family. I think that's gonna be a great addition. Thatcher Demko, I think Thatcher Demko and Braden Holtby, I think great balance. Holtby looks great when he has that opportunity to not have to play the bulk of everything. He doesn't have to be a guy that plays 70 games a season. So I think it's a perfect situation for them. So that's my 2 and 3. Fourth will either be, and I don't know why I'm counting out Calgary, but I'm counting out Calgary because I like what Winnipeg has. But at the same time, it's kind of tied with Calgary because Calgary is more of the consistent model, while Winnipeg is going to be up to Patrick Laine on if he wants to stay and what we're going to kind of get out of him as he enters a contract year, what he wants to do, whether or not he wants to embrace that I'm going to stay with Winnipeg long term or let me out, because I think when he does that, that just disrupts the team. With Calgary, subtle no excuse kind of thing too. They have the talent, they have added a lot of pieces, and one biggest thing the last, I'll say 5 years, because I think this all started 2016 when they got Brian Elliott at the draft, that no excuses at goaltending anymore.
I agree. Okay, no, I'll hold up. I'll hold up.
I know I named like literally the whole division there except Edmonton.
Yeah, sorry. So once again, can you just quickly say who's 1, 2, 3, 4 officially?
Yes, so Toronto. Well, okay, Toronto, Montreal,
Okay.
Vancouver,
Okay.
Calgary with an asterisk that might be Winnipeg instead of them.
Okay. All right. And then the Sens and the Oilers can get out. All right.
Yeah.
Alex, would you like to go next?
Sure. I have the Leafs number one. I think what Daniel said, I think it's really a big year for the team because, for how many years in a row, it's just been, okay, got to get Pat. We'll come in third. That's okay because, it's Boston and Tampa. I don't think there's any real excuses in front of them, in my opinion. They added guys who I think are really going to help the team. And I mean, we'll see next week, like this week. It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like in a real game, not some scrimmage. Plus, I think Freddie Anderson's entering a contract year. Last year seemed to be a bit of a shaky year, so I think he has a lot to prove. Number 2 is Montreal. I mean, Daniel said a lot. Like I think Montreal made, and I brought this up last episode, I think they made additions to prove that they want to at least make some type of push, anything, because I think they recognize that this year's actually a really good year to do that because you're in the Canadian division. And yes, there's good teams, but I think it's very easy to move up the ladder quickly within this division, and I think they've done that through the moves that they've made. Number 3, it's so unfortunate I have to do this, but I am. Number 3 is Edmonton. Like I don't necessarily think they got better, but I think they added more offense. And I think this division is going to be a lot of offense-driven games. And that's how Edmonton's going to come out on top of some of the games. I mean, I don't trust Mikko Koskinen and Mike Smith. They don't have Oscar Klefbom. They brought in Tyson Barrie. Like, they're really relying on their offense, and it's going to be a lot on McDavid and Draisaitl. So we'll see. Number 4, I have Calgary. I think adding Markstrom and actually making a really good tandem in Markstrom and David Rittich, adding Chris Tanev and losing, despite losing Brody and Hamonic, I think they have guys in the system that can, make strides. Rasmus Anderson, Juuso Valimaki, Oliver Shillington. These are guys that are going to take next steps. Plus, having Noah Hannafin, who's only 23, and Mark Giordano, who's 37, but still a good player. And I think there's the guys up front, especially Monahan and Goudreau, know that this is going to be a very important season for them. No doubt. And I think that's why they're going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. All right. First off, we'll just agree kind of unanimously Ottawa's going to be last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be a disaster, by the way, but they're going to be fun.
Hopeful bottom seed.
They're going to be fun to watch. They've always been fun, but they're not going to be an easy win. I think the moment a team goes into Ottawa and thinks we're going to win tonight, they're going to lose. They're going to steal some points. Okay. I'm actually going to go 4-1 here. 4th, I have Calgary. The thing with Calgary that has always plagued them, and it was they would have beaten Dallas last year if they didn't have a disaster in that. And we saw what Markstrom was able to do with a very flawed Vancouver team. And he's going to help Calgary go leaps and bounds. I really do.
Yeah.
And I like a lot of the Vancouver guys they stole. I really like them. And I'm a big fan of Sean Monahan. And Johnny Gaudreau is still wicked good. And like Alex said, those guys are going, my prediction, they're going to look back to what we thought, the 70 or 99 point player that Johnny Gaudreau was. 3rd, I have Winnipeg. Because they still have a disgusting top 6. Mm-hmm. I mean, Ehlers and Laine, and I don't think his contract's going to distract him one bit. Because, that interview with him, he's like, I'm here. And that's it. That's Laine. The man is confident. He will, if he scores 30, even in the shortened season, I will not be surprised. Wheeler, I hate his contract, is still disgusting. Mark Scheifele is amazing. Kyle Connor, by the way, might be the most underrated forward in this division. And Hellebuck might have no gas like last season when he gets to the playoffs. But we know he is good enough to carry that load. And maybe Laurent Brossoit surprises us. And they took a step forward with the defense. Not a massive one, just a single step. But I really like Winnipeg. And do you know what? I'll be honest. If Winnipeg somehow win the division, I wouldn't be surprised either. I'm high on them. Okay. By the way, the Oilers, I just thought I'd mention them. They leaked goals, added Tyson Barrie, lost Klefbom, and didn't address the goaltending. I don't see them taking a step forward at all. Chris Johnson saying that they were the biggest competition for the Leafs, I thought was such a reach.
And these reaches people have these days.
Right?
The reaches people have these days.
But I have Toronto second because
I
hear all of this
The Nordiques.
about how close, obviously, the Nordiques. Arizona are somehow in this division now. All of this talk about how close this division is and everyone just giving it to Toronto. And this can be said for every team in this division. No Canadian team has proved a damn thing except Vancouver, and they lost so much of their team. So I'm not going to give it to Toronto. Now, they should. If I was a betting man, which I am not, because I've spent all my money on my Lego, You would probably say Toronto, but they're going to make the playoff. Like, if there's a certain team, but do I have Montreal first? Well, yes, I do. No, it's actually Ottawa. No. Okay. I think the Canadiens are the deepest team in this division, without a question. Not in the league. That may be like Colorado at this point. But Montreal, I think way too many people are sleeping on them and saying like third and fourth. No. It's like everyone forgot that they added 2 top 6 level players. And like, you look at the ability that a guy like Anderson has. First of all, he is so big. Like, they have not had a player like that on this team forever. People are gonna fall in love with him. And I think he's gonna take this division by storm. And then we all forget about like Toffoli in that. Suzuki is just so good. The power play is going to be completely different. I'm not saying it's going to be top 5, but it's going to be out of the bottom 10. And I love their goaltending. I seriously, and I'm ignoring the tattoo on my leg, the jerseys I own, the YouTube channel that I have. I seriously think the Canadiens have a shot of winning this division.